Hey guys, welcome for another month. This time animation. And animation, yeah, we're making a 3D game, so of course animation was yeah, about to happen at some point that we needed a dedicated animator. So in the past we had just one, Jort, cool guy. He defined the first principles of the actually Ace coming alive. Later on we kind of realized that we needed an animator, or if the animation branch of the company should be someone that is capable of doing a lot, and that's where we found Katharina. And she worked a little bit on Horizon. Maybe she will tell you about it, but animation in our game is a big role. It makes things come alive, of course, and it makes things more believable. And Katharina always makes sure that we all feel that the game, or the games feel the game's animations are right, and that it's believable. Or how would you animate someone walking on the moon if you've never been there? So she had some hard things to do, and yeah, she will tell you about certain inspirations and the way she does things in this month. Theme animation. I think you guys should enjoy, and see you later.
Hi, my name is Katharina and I'm the lead animator at XOne Interactive here.
Alright, Katharina, so what inspired you to become an animator?
I think it started with drawing. I always liked drawing and drawing dragons and stuff like that. And when I studied, I learned about animation, and then I think it was the poses in that, because you can imagine such dynamic poses, and then you want to draw them, and then suddenly you have this 3D puppet and you can pose it and it looks amazing and you can adjust it so fast. And I think bringing these puppets to life is also really amazing.
That's actually, that's really awesome, actually, yeah. And so I think a lot of people are interested about, what's the process by which you create animations? Does it take a lot of time, and what's the hardest part of animating?
How long it takes really depends on what kind of animation it is. Let's say something where you want to fake some physics. Let's say somebody who's collapsing on the ground. To make that convincing takes a lot longer than somebody just looking around. I mean, it depends on the action. And well, the process, you said, first I need to find out what the requirements are by, asking, or looking it up somewhere, and then I would look for reference material, anything that goes in that direction. If somebody's gonna walk really exhausted, for example, I'm gonna look that up, and and then I just get started, pose by pose, and then yeah.
Well, obviously, depending, like you said, on the animation, some take longer than others, but I don't know, is it hard to find this kind of reference material, or is it just out there? And
I think, well, I found YouTube is a good source for people put on their home videos or something, or film themselves. There's a lot of material also of slow motion videos. I think that's all quite useful.
What if the animation is something that's, that you can't look up on YouTube?
Then I have
like a dragon, like you said before, yeah.
In case of a dragon, I would actually look at lizards and anything that's close to it, or maybe even movies where people animated dinosaurs, and anything that, well, then in the end it's my judgment to see, okay, do I think this looks convincing? And then of course asking other people, do they think it also looks convincing?
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, at some point you also have to just imagine things, use your own judgment to invent emotion that maybe doesn't exist at all.
I got a little Q&A for you. So what did you study to get into animation? Did you actually study animation?
Not animation. I studied international game architecture and design, for short, IGAD, here in Breda, in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And they have different tracks, and I did the art track. So I had a couple of animation courses there, but I also learned things like modeling, etc. and basic 3D skills for 3D artists.
And we spoke about this earlier. How did you get started in the video game industry?
Well, I did. Well, in school we had school projects where we already started developing small games in groups. Then I did an internship at a motion capture studio in Germany, and then I worked at Guerrilla Games for a short time to help out there on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Very, very cool. What game do you think has the best animations right now? Out there.
I think actually, like, there's so many games, like basically every AAA game ever, like not every, but a lot of them really put a lot of effort into the animations, making them look amazing, making them look, I don't know, realistic or super cartoony, and they are all impressive. But I think what stood out to me is in the Batman Arkham games, I very much liked the combat system there, because yeah, I just remember it being super fluent. And then I think in The Last Guardian, they had a lot of procedural animation involved, I would imagine, because there's just so much that you can do. There's really uneven terrain, and you can walk over everything, you can touch anything. If you stand somewhere next to a pillar, he will actually put his hand on the pillar and support himself, that character, and it's just amazing. I found it super impressive.
It sounds really amazing. Can I ask you, like, along the same lines, what do you think about a game like Cuphead then? Which animating, to me, like, it looks more beautiful, but is it more the art style? Have you heard of it? It's called a game called Cuphead.
Cuphead?
With traditional 2D animation.
I haven't actually heard of it, no.
Well, I challenge you to look it up after. Yeah, it's kind of like, it looks like animation from the 20s.
Mm.
So it's quite cool. But yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite game right now that you're playing?
Well, right now I'm actually playing Steins Gate Zero, which is well, it's a visual novel, so
I've never heard of it.
I think it's mostly, well, since it's a visual novel, it's mostly reading actually, and but other than that, I mean, I very much like the Arkham games.
I love those as well. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, that's amazing.
I also very much enjoy the games by Frictional Games, like the Soma was the latest one, and the two Amnesias they made.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I also like the Pokemon games.
Oh man, I was about to say, it sounded like you like so many dark games, and then it was like Pokemon.
No. I mean, yeah. And I played Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I very much.
I love Ratchet and Clank too. That's a lot of fun.
I very much like also these kind of cartoony platformers that used to be on GameCube and the early PlayStation things. I mean, like the old, the older Spyro games, or actually also the Sonic games, the older ones. Where you run around. I mean, yeah.
All right, here's a good one. What is your favorite animated series or movie? As an animator, I'm sure you can appreciate this question.
Well, I actually these days, I mean, they are so good. I mean, if you look at basically any Disney movie, any Ghibli movie, they all have great animation. And these days I would actually go as far as saying I would watch a movie like that just for the sake of the animation, and then it's because it looks so impressive, and I'm thinking, oh, look at this small twitch that she did with her eye there, and stuff like that. And that's just great to see. But well, I guess animated series, out of the top of my head, I would say maybe the Batman animated series.
I cannot believe you're saying that right now. You're freaking me out a little bit, because that for me is one of my favorite of all time. Mm-hmm. To me, it looks like it was like this very well done dark. To me, they did everything right in that show, and I'm very surprised that you like that animation. I like the way that people look until the 4th season where they changed it and I didn't like it anymore. But the first 3, yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's mostly because it's Batman, I have to say, because I don't know, I just like that.
That's my favorite superhero. Is it yours as well? Because you like Arkham games too.
Yeah, Batman is pretty cool.
I mean, for me, they're the best superhero games so far. But Spider-Man's coming soon.
I haven't actually played any others. I mean, any other superhero games. I've only played Batman once. But and yeah, movie-wise, I very much like the. I think it's called The Emperor's New Groove, like the one where he turns into.
This Disney one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Also with the humor. I mean.
Fair enough.
What's the evil woman called? Yzma or something. It's just.
I don't know.
It's really funny.
To me, that's like I liked when I was a kid. I liked like Aladdin. And I liked the genie. He was funny to me. Yeah. I felt like he was well animated too. Okay, and then this last question is a personal one from me to you, from one Trekkie to another, because I also know you like Star Trek as well.
Yes.
I don't know if you know they had an animated show in the 70s.
Yes. No, I haven't watched that ever, but
Neither have I, but I know that it exists. But what's your favorite character? Who? Sorry, who
that
is your
would be. That would be the first. Well, the first one I would name is Data from the Next Generation, because
I love him.
like he's kind of the. I think I read somewhere once that they call them like the outsider characters. I mean, it used to be Spock in the first show, and now it's in the original series. And you have Data in the Next Generation. Then in Deep Space Nine you have Odo, who's also like he's a shapeshifter.
True.
And,
yeah, true.
yeah, and I think I tend to like these characters.
Actually, he's one of my favorites as well. Who was it on Voyager? I'm trying to think of who it was.
The Doctor, I think. The Doctor
the hologram.
who's
You're right, they
hologram.
always have like that odd man out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's very interesting. Some Star Trek insight from Katharina here. But of the so Data is near number one.
Yeah. I mean,
You told me in the past you liked someone else actually from. What was it from? I'm not sure. I don't remember now. I don't recall. But you did.
Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Well, there would be Data, Odo, or the Doctor. I mean, there's other characters in there that are also cool. I wouldn't say that it's only about these characters. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of the captains. But I mean, they all.
And the last question I have for you: have you enjoyed so far working at Kaioken, even with people like me?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's amazing. I like the atmosphere in the studio, and I like the work I do. Very fun to work on the animations, and also a bit work on the technical part of it, implementing things. Yeah, it's great.
Great. Katharina, thank you so much for your time. It's been incredibly enlightening. Please say goodbye to everyone out there, and thank you so much.
Well, bye.
Great.
We have everything.
We're done. We're done. That wasn't so bad, actually.
Thank
See?
you.